Good morning. My name is Susan Reardon. I'm the staff hearing officer, and I call the meeting of Wednesday, August 15th to order. Today we have 2 items on the agenda, and I haven't received any requests for continuances, withdrawals, postponements, or additions of ex-agenda items, so I will hear them in the order that they appear on the agenda. The next item under preliminary matters is announcements and appeals. We've had no recent appeals, but I do want to announce that the next staff hearing officer meeting, which is August 29th, has been canceled due to a lack of items, so our next meeting won't be until September. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address the staff hearing officer on items not on today's agenda? No? Seeing no one, I'll go to the first item, which is 1823 Grand Avenue, if the applicant would like to come up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Anytime you're ready, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So today we are talking about an interior setback encroachment to allow as-built construction of a patio and patio cover at the back of an existing garage. So the existing site, outlined here in pink, is a 10,000 square foot lot that is developed with a duplex and a detached garage. There's a storage room underneath that garage. The setbacks are shown in yellow, and the project is subject to 6-foot setbacks. And so you'll see the garage has about a 6-inch setback. It is non-conforming, and the patio and patio cover are at the rear of it. And here's a photo of the back there. So the proposed project would be to abate all violations listed in ENF 2017-01041, and it includes things such as the foundation under the garage being under construction without a permit, new electrical in the garage, the rear cantilever deck, the roof cover over the rear deck or patio, new windows and doors in the storage room underneath the garage, new incoming water plumbing line from the street to the house, and a washer and dryer with associated electrical plumbing and venting in the crawl space. Let me flip. So the duplex is shown here, and this is the lower level, and so the washer and dryer was installed in this area that is existing crawl space. So the project was reviewed by the Architectural Board of Review on February 20th, 2018, with favorable comments. They specifically noted the construction, the patio and patio cover, is compatible with what is existing and is not visible from the street. And this is a photo from the next door neighbor, from the sidewalk at the next door neighbor's property. And that right there is that patio cover. So you can see it's barely visible from the street. The project does require what's called a minor zoning exception for the as-built doors in the storage room due to their nearness to the interior property line. And staff, the design review board, again, favorably reviewed the project. Staff does have a recommended condition of approval that the storage room not be noted as not habitable space on the floor plans, not to be used as sleeping purposes or a bedroom or something like that. The lot is non-conforming to density with 2 units on the lot. With a lot of this size, slope, and zone, typically only 1 would be allowed, so it is legal non-conforming. The legalization of the as-built work except the laundry facilities does not constitute new floor area. The laundry room is an allowable addition. There are caveats that a maximum size of 50 square feet of new floor area for an individual unit is allowable. However, we do have a recommended condition of approval to note that the laundry room area in the crawl space would need to be walled off to make sure it's a maximum of 50 square feet and not the entire area becoming new floor area. Staff is supportive of the proposed patio and patio cover in the setback due to existing screening from the street with the existing garage, existing screening from the adjacent neighbor with fencing and landscaping as seen here. The closest neighbor is approximately 40 feet away, so staff does not have privacy concerns or privacy impacts being anticipated. And the lot also has a very steep slope, so while it is conforming to open yard, with their open yard all in the rear, most of the lot isn't really usable in terms of flat open spaces, and so staff does feel the patio can be an appropriate improvement on the lot, providing a flat area for outdoor enjoyment. The project is exempt from CEQA under categorical exemptions 15301 and 15305. The project is located in an archaeologically sensitive area. However, there were archaeological reports on file, so we did not require one for this specific project. But we did include standard conditions of approval related to the unlikely discovery of archaeological resources. The project is subject to Tier 2 Stormwater Management Program requirements, and the parcel is located in the demolition review study area, so the urban historian reviewed the project and confirmed no anticipated impacts to historic resources in the area. And finally, staff did receive one inquiry about the project. However, the person with concerns was actually concerned about a different property, so pointed them to building enforcement staff about what was going on, and they did not have concerns about this project. And other than that, we received no inquiries about the proposed modification via emails, letters, phone calls, people coming into the counter.
Okay, great, thank you. Would you like to state your name for the record? And provide
Kevin O'Reilly.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay.
That is what she just stated.
Okay, I do have some questions for you
Okay.
regarding, so there's a number of things that occurred on the site without the benefit for a building permit, and some of them are listed in the staff report. One is the foundation under the garage is under construction. What types of changes occurred to the foundation? Was it dug out and reinforced, or what was this area used for before? There's notes that it was storage, but what is the scope of the as-built work?
I mean, basically, just what's happened was the tree that olive tree next door had pushed the foundation in the rear, so the wall is like this. So basically, we got the permit to do that as the earthquake
Seismic retrofit?
right after the fact. So basically, there was a big hole in. Okay, so the garage right in here. The foundation had been removed when it was sited. So
Yes.
then we put all that back in with using the seismic retrofit.
Okay, but in the storage area here, what types of work was done as part of the part of the foundation in this area?
There was basically a slab was put in underneath. It was just all dirt, and this wall and that one were put into just to it was the same problem as up here, is that the dirt on the outside was rotting the base of the wood. So we raised it up so that it wasn't in the dirt.
So it was totally unfinished, and now it's finished. What was the head height in that area?
It's the same as now. It's like 7 feet.
Okay. Okay, and then underneath it, I noticed here in terms of understory. So here's an opening here. What's used underneath in this area now?
That is all that's there.
So it's open. It's still open here. It's not enclosed. Since
Right.
this is all
This is all outside. This isn't in the garage.
right underneath. Okay, so here's
So
the garage up here, and then there's storage underneath.
Right.
And now this is all new here. What's under here?
Just
Is it all
dirt.
open?
No, it's all dirt.
Okay.
This is solid. There's if you like right here, this is about where you're pointing at right here. And so essentially there's this retaining wall that's 4 feet.
Which is at this line? that this line right here, or is it behind it? So it's this one right
Okay,
here.
this line, this is 4 feet,
Okay.
and so it goes all the way across, and once it gets right to there, there's a post right here, and then there's another retaining wall right behind that.
Okay, so this right here is
That's just a
on the other side?
little alcove that's
Okay.
probably like maybe 2 feet deep and 4 feet wide or something.
Okay. So the what's behind this concrete wall here is not usable, additional usable area? It's not accessible?
No, it's inaccessible. It's
Okay.
solid.
Okay.
Because this wall goes like this, and then it goes like that, and then turns the corner, goes like that, and goes like that.
Okay.
And then there's a post in that corner.
Okay.
And yeah, there's just a little,
Okay. Just kind of you can walk through it for it, but okay.
it's maybe like that high, that wide.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the site. I didn't pay much attention to that side. I was looking more. And thank you for meeting me on the
You were
site.
down there looking at it, but
Yeah.
it probably just didn't look like anything.
No, huh?
It looks like more in that picture
Yeah.
than what it is. For whatever reason, the light's shining in there. Usually, the light must have been just right at
The
that
time of day or the sun.
time of day, because usually it just looks like a black hole.
Okay. That was my main question, is to try to understand what kind of foundation repair was done, and then in terms of also what improvements, because it's,
Well, I mean, this is like a footing, that's 2 feet wide and 1 foot thick, and then it's a retaining wall right to there, and then so
Just-
it's solid concrete from
Right.
here all the way out to there,
right,
6 inches thick, with 5/8 inch rebar in it.
okay. And it was to support the deck part of it?
Right.
For it, okay. All right, that's my questions for right now. I'd like to open the public hearing and see no one in the audience. And you've told me that you haven't received any other ones. And Crystal, we didn't receive any follow-up ones this morning? No. Okay, so I'll close the public hearing. I did go out to the site, and thank you for meeting with me there. It was really helpful to look at it. My initial concern, well, any concern when you have a raised deck in the setback is what kind of potential impacts you have to your neighbor, because they're large lots, but they're not huge lots. And the way that the existing development is in this area, and there's kind of houses dotted throughout. And so in this particular case, here's your existing lot, and as Stephanie said, here's the closest house in this area, and it's accessed actually. I think there's steps down here, right?
Yeah, there's stairs that go off this garage this way, and then there's one pathway that goes this way, another one that goes that way.
Now, do they have a garage at all, or no? No? Because I saw when I was there the first time, someone had parked here in your driveway and would walk down to get.
Well, when I was going through the historical records, it was actually this house and that house were on one lot at one time.
Oh, huh.
And so, and there's like an access like this way.
Oh,
But then that's been,
not maintained or anything?
no, it's not. It's just,
Yeah,
I don't know how it all ended up the way it did, but
right, yeah.
it is what it is there.
Okay, well, back to your particular project. In regards to the requested interior setback, the existing situation is such that this house is so far away, and the slope of the topography, having the likelihood of something being built up here, is smaller. It is non-conforming, I think, identified in the staff report, so in terms of adding on and potential conflicts with the neighbors, pretty low. So I would agree with what staff has to say in the staff report. My only concern would be that if indeed it was part of the as-built work involved the creation of new floor area, which would mean that and the existing non-conforming situation would be a 5-foot head clearance, and if it was found that it was dug down to create more than that, that is new floor area, and that does trigger a bunch of other reviews and zoning reviews. And so I don't, excuse me, I don't know. I know
that door that you walked into, that was existing.
Okay.
That's how you got into that space.
Okay. All right.
So basically, it was just a dirt floor underneath the garage.
So the reference of...
And so, like, even with the violation about the wiring,
Yeah.
I found in the city records that the upper part of the garage, there was a permit for all the wiring, but the wiring had to start underneath there because that's where the panel is, and everything goes out of that basement area up to the upper part of the garage.
So the new doors that are referenced are on the space?
Yeah, there were 2 windows there, and then we put 2 doors in.
Okay, yeah. So that would be my only concern if this patio now encourages that use to be used for something other than what it's permitted, but since it's already considered floor area and that it is unfinished area right now, I could make the findings outlined in the staff report. Staff is proposing, like Stephanie said, 3 conditions. I don't need to add any additional conditions, able to make the findings, so therefore I could make the findings outlined in the staff report and approve your project subject to those 3 conditions of approval. And my action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days, and they also have oversight authority of all my actions, and if they felt this warranted additional discussion before them, they could call it up during that same 10-day appeal period, and if either of those would occur, Stephanie would contact you. Okay? Great, thanks.
All right, thank you.
We'll go to the next project, which is 1540 Shoreline Drive, if the applicant would like to come up. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. Oh, and Crystal, I did acknowledge this to this email.
Colors, very exciting.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
We are talking about an interior setback modification request to allow window changes in the western interior setback of the lot at 1540 Shoreline Drive. The existing lot is a 6,098 square foot E3 zoned lot and is developed with a single residential unit and a detached 2-car garage. The lot is outlined here in pink, and the setbacks are shown in yellow. The lot was part of a down zone that the city implemented in the 1970s, and originally it was subject to 5-foot interior setbacks, and now is subject to 6-foot interior setbacks. So you'll notice on both sides the house is non-conforming by approximately 1 foot. The proposed project includes window changes in the western interior setback. Here's a photo of the existing western elevation. An interior remodel, demolition of 2 closets on the first floor, construction of a mudroom at the rear of the first floor, and an addition to the second floor to accommodate relocated interior stairs. The fence along the front lot line is also proposed to be decreased in height so that it's a maximum of 3 foot 6 inches within 10 feet of the driveway, including both the fence and the retaining wall underneath it. The project is in the coastal zone and a coastal exemption is applicable. The project was reviewed by the Single Family Design Board on April 30th with favorable comments. The development is non-conforming to its open yard requirements. However, the proposed addition at the rear of the house would not lead to a decrease in the open yard. And so here we have a little diagram showing existing open yard on the site at about approximately 1,000 square feet. And so there is a little bit of demo in this courtyard area, and there's a little bit of addition for that mudroom, and a little bit of addition at the front of the house, but the open yard would not be affected. The development is also non-conforming to parking requirements since the existing garage isn't the standard 20 by 20 interior dimensions for a 2-car garage, And since the house has been enlarged by more than 50% since its initial construction in the 1940s, technically, the garage is supposed to be conforming. However, I have reviewed the project with transportation staff, and they are supportive of the idea of doing a transportation parking design waiver to allow the existing two-car garage to remain as it is right now so that it would not encroach into the existing open yard or affect any other aspects on the property. With the floor plan configuration, we need to skip forward, I think, 3 pages here. So that with the interior remodel, there is a proposed master suite here at the back of the house with a sitting room, bedroom, and a full bathroom. And so staff does recommend a condition of approval for a zoning compliance declaration to note that only one residential unit is to exist on the site until at some point in time an accessory dwelling unit is permitted. And in regards to the window changes, staff is supportive of the window changes in the interior setback. Due to the windows being elevated, they would be in this kitchen here, and they'd have an approximate height of about 8 feet tall. So it isn't really about looking out, it's more about letting light in. And further, as we can see in this photo here, it would be overlooking the neighbor's garage. So even if they were lower, they would be looking at a garage, not living space or open yard space. The non-conforming open yard would not be reduced as part of this project, and the down zone in the 1970s led to this non-conformity. And as part of the project, the encroachment into the interior setback would not be expanding at all. It would be remaining exactly as is. The project is exempt from CEQA under categorical exemptions 15301 and 15305. And finally, staff has received no inquiries about the project.
Okay, great. Do you want to state your name for the record?
Chris Belanger.
Okay, and I don't have any questions for you right now, Stephanie.
I did want to point out one thing. When I was preparing for the show, I noticed this sink that was not on any of the previous submittals, and it is a drafting error. It is not proposed whatsoever.
There is not and will not be a small countertop and sink in the backyard.
Floating in the middle of nowhere.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I do have a question. So this shows this is demoed. Then I was just noticing here, there's a fireplace here.
Yes, there is an exterior fireplace going in out there.
So it's new.
That is correct.
And then you'll look at that in terms of loud encroachments in the open yard and stuff, if this is being identified as their...
Yeah, we're actually looking to reduce the size of that also.
Yeah.
So officially, the rear of the lot is the open yard. In Title 28, it does talk about how open yard needs to be, I always mispronounce this word, contiguous. So we did not feel that this area was technically open yard, that this area was technically the non-conforming open yard.
Contiguous to what? Oh, so that it has to come down like this, but you
Yeah.
can have open yard in two separate areas.
In Title 28?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Enzo, 30. You're in the coastal zone.
Right? That's the trap.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
so we're...
Yes, correct. So yes, sorry. Okay, that was just something I saw there.
Sure.
I don't think any questions for this part. All right, so I'd like to open the public hearing. There's no one in the audience. And Crystal, we haven't received any additional comments this morning regarding this? Okay, and you said we haven't received any, so great. I'll close the public hearing. I did go out to the site just to look at the windows. And I agree with the conclusions of staff that it's not, those new windows aren't going to cause any adverse effect to the neighbor. I would, though, put a condition on the project, you're proposing them to be clear story and that to require them to be clear story since they are in the setback.
Oh, rather than a taller window?
Yeah. So I would put that condition. In regards to the floor plan configuration, since this involves interior remodel, and I understand that in the future you may be doing an ADU, the way it's proposed right now, this does not comply with zoning at all, and a ZCD is not the way to go. It would either need to be a the PSP to allow the full bathroom and the sink,
Okay.
or it would need to be removed from the plan and shown that this is a half bathroom and this doesn't have a laundry sink. Although there's interior access is not adequate, that this is very easily separated off, and that the intent may be to do an ADU at a later date, but this needs to be a standalone project so that if that were to go away and not go forward, it needs to be consistent with zoning. So I would put a condition on the project that this be redesigned to eliminate the shower, that this needs to be at the minimum area for a half bath, which is typically either 5 by 5 or 7 by 3, and that this needs to be removed.
And what, I don't anticipate a problem with that. We are going to come in with an ADU application kind of with this. But I'm just curious on the shower, because wouldn't you be allowed to have a bedroom with a full bath here?
If this is adequate interior access. So like over here you
You're
do
saying
have.
it's too closed
Yes.
off.
It's very
so-
easy to close
okay.
off.
Right.
So it's a separate entity.
Okay.
So yes, in this area, and let's say that this bathroom, they had a bathroom here. It's all internal. It's all you don't have to go through a laundry room to get to it. So it's the configuration of it just raises some concerns with zoning.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
I think
That's
we're
fine.
like I said,
Right.
we're coming in with the ADU anyway, so
Right.
I think I don't think that would cause any issues.
Okay. Let me just look if there's. Oh, and then yeah, so those are just the two comments that I would have. But in regards to your proposal, this is one of the sites, like Stephanie said, that was caught up in the downzoning, and the intent of the downzoning was for density, not for setbacks. And so we see this type of thing in this area, also in the Riviera, that there's these homes that were built to the standards at that time, and then we changed them, and then now
Now they're
these types of situations arise. And with our new zoning ordinance that just went into effect, which isn't in effect in the coastal zone, it helps the areas in the Riviera. So once the Coastal Commission accepts it, that this situations such as this can be reviewed either at the staff level or with the design review board, because you have to go before the design review board anyway. So unfortunately at this time you do need to come before us, and what you're proposing is minor and it's supportable, and you did take into account the potential conflicts with the neighbors in terms of having the clear story windows, so it's supportable. So with that, I'll make the findings outlined in the staff report, and then I'll add those two conditions regarding the floor plan configuration and the windows. I'm going to leave the condition that talks about the zoning compliance declaration, recognizing that it may not be needed depending on how you revise the floor plan configuration. And then also if it ends up that you're processing the two permits side by side, we may not require it. And if that's the case, Stephanie could find it as substantially conforming to what my action today. But I am going to leave it in here since I don't know exactly how it's going to be altered to in regards to the residential amenities that are in there. So with that, I'll make the findings subject to those revised conditions. And my action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days. And they also have oversight authority of all my actions. And if they thought this warranted additional discussion before them, they could call it up during that same 10-day appeal period. And if either of those would occur, Stephanie would contact you.
all right.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks.
I adjourn the meeting.